See what kind of decisions they can make to turn that one around, because right now, you got the bans coming out. Cruiser going to ban away Vayne from Doublelift. They are just respecting that AD carry choice completely. They are respecting the jungle as well there. So Jarvan dropped out, and there's the Nidalee ban.
So they are making the little adjustment from last game. Like Boy said, you want to ban out the last thing that just beat you. And they feel like Nidalee was a huge part of that team call. I feel like Janna was really instrumental in that as well. Not mentioned, but I mean, he had really good Howling Gales, and he also gives that extra move speed. It always opens up so many avenues for disengage.
Well, right off the bat, look at that. Shen just grabbed it as quickly as possible right there away from Hotshot and Chouster, but immediately it's answered back by Elise Diana.
So they were expecting this. The first pick, Shen, it's okay, they'll give that one over. And people have been targeting Chouster with that Jarvan ban, and then, stealing away whatever jungler he last used, just because they feel like he has a really small, effective jungling champion pool. But Chouster has said so many times, he's like, I can play any champion in this game. I don't know why people think I have this small champion pool. And really, it's just because of the results. He hasn't won on a lot of other champions.
Okay, well, we'll see if this ends up working out for him this time around. Azure Cats have 18 seconds to make their next choices here. They've already got the ambiguous Shen for top or jungle. We'll see what's next.
Yeah, last time Azure Cats were actually tricked by that, top Shen, moving him into the jungle here. So they could actually do the same thing and switch that one over, since they've already seen the Elise and Diana pickups. But it looks like the second key part, the tables have sort of turned here. Now we have the Shen and Janna on Azure Cat's side.
So talk to me about this Janna Tristana lane here. What are they looking for with these two champions?
Janna can definitely add those shields for the early game to shore up the weakness that Doublelift always points out. He's like, Tristana has a very weak early game. Doublelift, whenever he's going up with Tristana, he says, I don't let them get out of my lane until they've got less than 50 CS. Like, they're behind me by at least 50 CS. That's the only time I'll let them out of my lane. So CLG are going to want that 2 versus 2 matchup so that Doublelift can take advantage of it. But Azure Cats know this, and they'll probably be looking to switch it around, play some mind games here, and get a 2 versus 1.
This could be interesting because right now CLG have locked in even more new picks, so Doublelift will reprise his role on Ezreal, but Jay's now been grabbed up, so we pretty much know the lanes here for CLG.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting what the jungler is going to be, because Elise is so flexible. She can actually play any position in the game. We can't actually peg that one down, but we can guess that it will be a Diana for Hotshot, because he has played her a lot in Slokia as well. I know from experience, and he keeps on tweeting out about, oh my god, I love Diana so much. Why did I take so long to learn her? So I'm gonna guess that it's a Hotshot Diana here. Not only for that fact, but the fact that it plays into his playstyle where she can solo shove lanes very quickly as well with her passive.
All right, so we'll see how that plans out here. Azure Cat's going to make their last few choices here. Ram is going to be going into the jungle, so no fooling with Shen, and Rise for the mid lane.
Very, very tanky late game here for Azure Cats to go with that late game Tristana. Their whole team is looking like it will get extremely scary as time goes on here. So it's going to be up to CLG to make more early moves, and that is not really their team identity. They don't usually, go for this very quick-ended games.
And this could be interesting then. So Azure Cat's really changing things up with that late game team, as you mentioned. Counter Logic Gaming, well, they're going to have to shore up the rest of their composition here. I guess it actually could be support Elise, so we'll see what their last grab is going to be on this one. Got 20 seconds left to make their final choice.
They actually have a decent amount of mobility because they already have the acceleration gate, and we saw Doublelift use his tweaked blue Ezreal build last game. So this is even more interesting because we already talked about the vlogs that they released. The whole second half of Afro's vlog was, oh, support is so boring. Support is so boring. You know what I would love? Blitzcrank.
Yeah. Well, I thought of another way entirely, though, is the funny thing. So that would be fun to play Blitzcrank, but Doublelift.
Oh.
Doublelift is like one of the old school Blitzcrank players, and Afro played AD carry before joining Counter Logic Gaming. We saw Vulcan switch their players around in different roles. I mean, this is theoretically a possibility here for CLG.
It could all be a mind game. They could have released these vlogs in a timely manner to give out misinformation and then pull this giant trick that they're going to have. I guess you could call it cheese, but it's not really. It's just lane or role swaps back to their original roles here. Like I said, they've got so many late game carries. You know, Tristana and Ryze take a while to get to their really extreme power points here, and we saw the weakness of the early game Rammus as a tank for them in the last game. He was fairly squishy, and he kept on being poked out before the fight even started. So they're going to have to build him up, get him a little more beefy before they actually want to engage.
So let's see if these guys can do it right here. Counter Logic Gaming, you watch them charge into the base, all going the same direction actually. And Link, he didn't even start with acceleration gate, so he's not like trying to get his team out there as fast as possible. He's just simply going with the team, running down to the bottom half, just going right for the river.
They look like they have a plan. This is definitely going to be a blind hook into the tri-bush here. More effective. Oh, they do get it!
Oh my gosh, he is so dead right now. Flashes, I don't even know why. That guy is gone. Nice pickup there. He hit so far back and they still got it.
So definitely going to be a blind hook. Definitely going to be 100% hit ratio so far for Afromu, the Hook King.
Hook King indeed. So they're all going to recall back. They cleared out the ward and lizard buff. Shot Glass comes out, another ward. So CLG have started out with 600 gold, as well as great early ward coverage.
We always talk about keeping track of hit percentages on the hooks. I'm going to do my best. I'm actually going to write one down this game. This is going to be a fun little mini game for me. He's 1 for 1 right now.
And to attest, he really does have a pen and a note card out. He's actually keeping track by hand. So guys, let's see where these lanes end up going, because this is now the first, well, I should say the next big choice. Azure Cats are running a straight up 2v2 in the bottom lane, or I should say a 2-man bottom lane. It's potentially 2v2, we'll see. But they're going for that hotshot GG. Is going to take out some early race in the mid, and Cruiser is heading top.
Yeah, and note the string of wards that CLG were able to leave behind in Azure Cat's jungle because of their successful invade, because of their pull. They have full vision of the red side, which means they know Azure Cats are starting blue side, and Afromu just going over there being a little annoying blitzcrank and pulling the blue to the other side of the wall, slightly delaying this Rammus jungle already.
Is going to buy him some time. So Dragoner actually, has to actually burn his smite on that because he does not get enough help from his team. Link actually grabs his own blue buff, and he's going to enjoy that one down in the bottom lane. So there's an Afro and double lift to 2v1 mid.
And Link only has 2 HP potions and 2 mana potions left in his inventory, so he might have to go back fairly early here in a 2 versus 1 situation.
Okay, so let's see what these guys end up doing. Dragoner is going to start clearing out the race. He is in vision of a ward, and so Afro and Chowster want to start messing with his Obituaries, though. He's going to face check and a double flash pull. Oh, he still hits him. This is not good for Jana. Has no flash to get away. 2-0. Afro moves, still Hook King.
I told you CLG were going to be looking for early moves, and they are getting those early moves. Very successful secondary invade. Chowster really stepping up his jungle game, both last match and this match.
There we go with the pink ward. They've got control over the red buff, and I don't see anyone stopping this one. Smite or not, Chowster, you could smite now and you'd still get it. And hey, he does. So Chowster with the double red buff here. Great early opening to his jungle.
So glad that you can tell, the members of CLG are actually happy. Usually, if you listen to them scrimming, they're all yelling at each other and constantly arguing. But if you look, they're all just dead focused right now. They know the task at hand, and they know that everything's going well for them. Plus, they're on champions that they actually enjoy.
Oh my gosh, and they found Dragoner. I mean, just constant aggression here. Can he get the repel? He's actually going to go for it. Chowster underneath the turret. It's going to be a kill, but it's going to get answered back. Assisted kill versus a shutdown here for Rammus.
They are really keeping that Rammus down right now. He's going to be the same squishy Rammus that we saw in the early game of last match.
And that is pretty brutal right here. So now Blitzcrank has finally, finally returned to the bottom lane. Does not quite land the hook on a big fat LP. Hotshot GG dueling up against Cruiser, and Hotshot is winning the early levels here. He's up at minions.
So apparently, to do research on CLG, just watch their vlogs, guys, because Afromu called out this Blitzcrank call, and he's just used it so effectively, just constantly roaming from that mid lane. This is why Dignitas started out running the AD and supports in mid lane so effectively in the LCS in the mid-season. It's because it opens up the opportunity for that support to roam around.
He's already got a Philosopher's Stone for his troubles. By the way, Chowster, can you look at Chowster's items real quick? I just want to point.
He's got 2 paper bags.
Yeah, well, normally, right, for a bipedal champion, you buy boost of speed once. But the Spider Queen not only has 2 forms, she has 10 legs total.
And what's more surprising is that usually when someone makes this mistake, like we actually have seen Kiwi Kid make the same mistake, he instantly sells it back because he wants to hide it so nobody saw me do that.
Nope.
You're imagining things. But Chowster is proud of his mistakes.
Yes.
He will hold on to those things because he knows what he did wrong and he will wear them as a badge.
A badge of shame for Chowster here. So he's going to kind of make up for that, pushing down this mid lane. That turret takes some damage here. They're actually just camping it. I mean, we've seen junglers camp their lanes before, but this one is just like, yeah, we want to push.
And, you know, maybe this will be just an intimidation factor. He's going to continue his invades. He's basically been manhandling this Rammus jungle, and he's so confident that he can buy a second pair of boots as 4 members of Azure Cats make their presence known middle.
Okay, so bit of aggression there. Yeah, nothing quite picked up for it at the very least. So let's see. You know, Rahel comes off. Okay, so Chowster going back into the jungle. No big deal there. Afro has stopped looking for openings to roam around. He's actually staying with Double Lift because Azure Cats have gone back to 2v2 this.
We've had so many observer bugs today that I had to check that this extra boot was not another one of them. No, it's legitimate. Like, he's holding on to those suckers. Link, meanwhile, though, in the bottom, just getting off some free farm down there, and they see Big Fat LP switching because he's having too hard of a time against that AD and support. So now CLG look to answer.
See what they can do about this, because, you know, it's funny. You mentioned before that Double has said that he will happily outlane a Tristana, and right now he is 53 to 39 as far as that matchup is concerned. So Double right now is pretty much talking the correct game here.
As we have a lane gank from his Elise, Afromoon lands another hook.
And they're just going to go right onto Avitrus and just explodes the Janna. Demon Lord's been stunned, pops barrier, and Rocket jumps away. Now 4-1 CLG on fire.
They should have let Afromoon play Blitzcrank a long time ago because he is so far the MVP of this match.
Absolutely, man. And now they're going to make their way down towards the Dragon. They don't have a ton of work control, just the pink right there, so they're in the fog of war, but they got spotted moving over. However, I don't see Azure Cat stopping them.
Yeah, Chowster buying so many pink wards, 2 pink wards and 2 boots. He's going to be broke in the mid game.
But, you know, he's going to get 190 gold off of this Dragon pickup, so I can't hate on it too much right here as they are just whittling it down. The damage, and there is the smite. Thank you very much, this Chowster. I'll take that money.
Still dangerous for him, though. He is only level 4 here, and even though they did such a good job shutting down Rammus is level 5, so he's already higher than Chowster is, even though they've been so successful.
Well, the blue buff was stolen away as well. You saw Link and Hotshot make their way forward, so CLG really consider this map their own. And now that Link already has blue, Chowster will happily get that for himself. Level 5, 22 minions, and I gotta point out that even though he's gotten so many kills, he actually has relatively few minion kills.
Yeah, that's a problem that Chowster has had throughout the LCS too. It's actually a good trade for him in this game because he's got so many objectives for them, but it almost seems like he's still in that support mind where he doesn't take the farm. He's got that support style CS where he's only got 27 here.
Nah, but for what it's worth, he is the richest man in the game right now, just about to crest 3,000 gold. So didn't farm minions, did farm champions. That seemed to work out for him in the early game. We'll see what Chowster can do with this.
Yeah, the overall game plan working out really well for him, and now I'm seeing why all these people were saying it's going to be a 3-0 one way or the other, because I guess they were counting on which CLG shows up today. They've been, you know, sort of an up and down team, a roller coaster here, and it looks like they're really looking to take this one quickly.
They are indeed, and it's funny because so many just plays back. You said that CLG normally, well, they don't take early wins. Azure Cat scales in the late game. They've got Ryze and Tristana. You know, does CLG ever play early game? Apparently, yes, they freaking do right here. The minions going down. Chowster looking to push down the top turret.
Double buff, and he has level 6 too, so they are feeling just comfortable up here with Bruiser. They're going to get a little bit of poke, but they don't have the longest of range. Dangerous under the turret.
They land the stun, but Chowster, Hotshot's been taunted underneath it. Takes another turret. shot. This could be bad. Dragoner. Oh, he Spiderling just stops it. Hotshot flashes out of range. No, he can time it back in. This could be a kill picked up, and it is. Now will Dragoner fall over? Chowster seems to not want to dive that one. Great kill pick up there for Rammus.
Chowster was thinking about trying to answer and take that Rammus down, but pings coming out all over Big Fat LP. He walked up the river through that ward, and Link let his team know. Good call by him.
There we go, that MIA. Link putting out a little bit of damage, or actually tries to put that damage onto Big Fat LP, cannot quite do it. So guys, we've had 10 minutes of ludicrously crazy action. I've only seen Blitzcrank miss one hook so far. For the 2 in kills, and CLG are looking very good in this game too.
Talk about the CS difference here between Big Fat LP and Link. Link just warding up the sides. He doesn't leave the lane, so he immediately clears it, and he gets that easy CS lead against Rise. Rise early game notorious for the difficulty of the CSing under turret.
So we'll see how Rise can progress through the game. He at least has the Tear of the Goddess, sitting at 2,500 gold, only 900 in pockets right now though, so that might take him a while to reach that late game status, as the pressure is still here from Counter Logic. We watch Cruiser and Dragoner waiting around on the left-hand side of the map, waiting for Hotshot to show back up.
Yeah, you know, it makes me think, was that part of the plan of CLG in the beginning? Did they all along plan on just going AD and support middle? Or did they do that just because they wanted to shut down Big Fat LP?
Well, this could be rough though. Hotshot does get taunted back in, and he does not have flash available. They should have enough damage to bring him down, and yes, they do. Cruiser the Bruiser with a kill picked up there is going to be ahead of Hotshot.
Perfect play by Azure Cats. You always want to go back to the lane that doesn't have flash. Jungler 101. And Rammus, amazing at lane ganking. We had talked about so much. Shen could just shut that one up with his taunt, and now they've got tons of pressure on this turret. Chowster going to have a difficult time dealing with them.
So I have a question for you then. Outside of ganking the lane without flash, oh, wow, Chester actually wants to go for this one right here. Jumps onto Cruiser and Dragoner. Okay, nope, still really wants to play aggressive here. Hotshot does have teleport, but he's not going to make anything happen. Okay, so outside of you re-gank the lane without flash, why did they focus so much attention on top?
Because Hotshot, they want to get Hotshot down early. Shen, if you give him the lead in lane, then that opens up the rest of the map for you, because it frees him up to use his Stand United offensively. So if you help Shen's lane, then you help every other lane just by association.
Okay, so Azure Cat's thinking long-term in this one, as they have with their champion picks. Look at that, Dragoner's back already. He's like, all right, guys, I got back to base. I got my home guards. Top lane.
This time he was not riding on those spinners, though, just walking around, and he showed himself, so nothing going to come of that one.
Spinners, Rammus now going to show up for Link right here. Link says, nope, toss out a shock blast. Chowster still is really showing up a lot, actually. He has come back ahead of his opponent in minion farm, but I also want to point out that Chowster has gone not for the Magic Pen build, but for an early Spirit of the Spectral Wraith.
Yeah, very popular item among AP junglers, just because it is one of those extremely efficient buys. As we see, Dragoner going to get the Stand United on him. A little bit of a trigger-happy move right there.
And he whiffs the Powerball onto a minion. He was trying to chase down Elise to let Shen show up onto him, and couldn't have that happen. So Cruiser wasting his ultimate, blue buff getting stolen away. Chowder's like, okay, you're here. Okay, yeah, bye. I'll go ahead and leave real quick. Flashes away as well. Was very afraid of that taunt, but Hotshot GG, he was in the top lane. He doesn't kill the turret.
Flash taunt gets him.
Oh my gosh, Dragoner does taunt them. And another one in top of that one. Look at the damage up. He's been in turret range the whole time. Beautiful orchestration right there. Cruiser with another kill, but Link will at least take mid turret.
Hotshot's still playing like he's on Nidalee. He can't keep overextending like that. He keeps getting himself into a really bad situation, and he paid for it once again.
Ooh, that pull and the knockup cancels out Demon Low's jump as well. They're going to chase down, but AC will just barely get out of that fight, though they're losing health.
That's why people always talk about how Ezreal is so good against Blitzcrank, because once you start channeling Arcane Shift, it's gonna go off, and you can use that even after you get pulled. But the cast time on that rocket jump is so long that if you try and use it even after you got pulled, like we saw there, he can still knock you up and cancel that one.
For what it's worth, as long as you do rocket jump as the pull hits you, you can override the pull as well. It just really depends on timing. And that one, though, the Afro Moon knockup did hit late enough. And CLG, though, as the reward for the, I would say, successful pull, they're going to go ahead and try to control out the dragon. They've got the pink ward there. They're waiting for Azure Cats to move around. They're certainly lurking around this.
Yeah, Hotshot is up top, but he does still have that teleport. He hasn't used it to get back into lane. So if there is, a dragon fight, then he will be able to join them as well. Meanwhile, Stand United, it was used in that mid lane. Rammus sort of saved there, and that one's going to be down for another minute.
Wow, Hotshot Spidey sense though tingling. He actually runs back down the river as Big Fat tries to flank him. Minions take the turret down. Hotshot, okay, maybe they weren't tingling. He's going back up and he's still surrounded. However, they're taking Dragon.
Wow, they last just long enough. Nope, Big Fat LP does see him go back into lane, and Hotshot's going to be into trouble here.
Okay, here we go. Into the fight, 1 versus 2. Dragon does go down for Chowster, and now Hotshot is super caught out right here. He's going to dash to a minion. Can he get away from this one? Will he flash the wall? He does flash the wall. Now can he get out? Puts the shield on, still running down. There's a Rammus to his side, but Hotshot may have just pulled a lot of attention. He's going to teleport. Is it going to be close? Can Dragon catch him with a taunt? No, he cannot! Hotshot trades 2 summoners for a Dragon.
So, Hotshot not on Nidalee, but he can utilize that flash and teleport to get him out of the sticky situation. Got them the Dragon and the bottom turret.
Beautiful stuff right here. Aphromoo gonna go ahead and punch things a little bit. Chowster gonna do some damage, takes the last hit onto that one, and now 3-0. This game looks very different. CLG already with a lot of a lead.
That was the classic Hotshot style that we are always talking about. When we say pressure, that's what we mean. We're bringing not only Cruiser up top, but he brought Big Fat LP up top, and he brought Rammus up top. So that was 3 members on the top side of the map just for Hotshot, and it allowed the rest of CLG to take the objectives that they wanted.
So beautiful stuff by the CLG lineup so far, and now they're just trying to take some farm. Link at an impressive 145 right now. Did a very good job in the mid lane, far above Big Fat LP.
Yeah, and it's interesting that he rushed that last Whisper. That's probably because they have a Rammus on the other team, and Rammus has an immense amount of armor, and Shock Blast is really easy to block, so he's going to have to chunk that front line down somehow.
Okay, so good build adaptation then for Counter Logic Gaming. And Cruiser is doing his best Hotshot impression, staying up in the top lane, trying to counteract the split push, though he has lost his first turret.
Shen also just going full HP build. So if Shen is the one that's going to be tanking those Shock Blasts, then it'll be much more effective because armor penetration doesn't mean as much when you build full HP like that, and the Warmox does give that passive HP regen.
And that is going to be good then for Cruiser. Hotshot though wants to stay in his face, pushes down another minion wave, has some ward control, but he's running around a little bit right now. Aphromoo, we see him. He's got the Oracle's Elixir in hand, well, over his head I should say, looking to sweep out the vision from Azure Cats.
And double lift, freezing the bottom lane. So the rest of CLG actually are just going to be a 4-man group over here in the middle. They're just trying to keep vision of Azure Cats without having those deep wards.
This could be interesting for them then. So right now, let's see what they can do. Big Fat LP just trying to sweep away, get the farm going, and scale himself toward late game. Though they're down 5,500 gold, how does Azure Cats get themselves to late game status here?
They have to get Tristana some farm. They have to rotate him, or they have to bring extra help down here, because with Double Lift freezing this lane, they're not allowing Tristana to get to that late game. Double Lift said that he doesn't like to let Tristanas get away with any more than a -50 CS in his lane. Right now, he's winning, by about 40 over Tristana, so he's pretty close to his mark.
This is good for him then. So Azure Cats are going to put some pressure down on the bottom half. They put some damage onto Double Lift, but not too much. He's going to regen that out with the Bloodthirster. And Double is going for the same build as last time, Bloodthirster into Tier and Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, very effective pull.
Oh my gosh, Demon Lord taking a lot of damage, a bunch of shields. He's going to jump right back out. It seems to not really need to do that. Nice knockback on a Dragoner, and there is all of CLG. Well, 4 or 5 of CLG, because Hotshot won't leave. And they say, nowhere for you to go.
Hotshot is so happy right now. He's like, yes, the Shen is not going to be up here. He just showed bottom lane with the Stand United, so I get free alone time with the minions.
Absolutely great. Yeah, wow, I can't even say the name of the champion anymore. PvE Diana doing a very, very good job. Has shoved it all the way down to that turret, and he's about to spot Big Fat LP. Heads up 1v1. I'm just going to take that fight. Moonfall comes off. He's still looking for damage, and look how far he's chunking Rise. Shock Blast comes across. That's enough for him. Great job, Counter Logic Gaming.
CLG just with no heart right there. They all converge onto their old member, Big Fat LP, and ruthlessly take him down. Now they have easy target on this mid turret.
They do really indeed. Hotshot's going to go ahead and start swiping that down with his sword. The passive does apply at half effectiveness against the turret, losing more health, but here comes Azure Cat. The turret losing more health. Let's get the taunt onto Hotshot. GG, could it be enough damage? They take the turret down, and here comes the battle. Demon's been pulled in, tries to jump away, and cannot do that. He's going to die right away. Chase with another kill, and they're going to keep on moving forward. Obituary is about to be having an obituary written for him. He is going to fall down, and they're going to just run right back away.
CLG, their whole team has looked really good, but wow, Afromu, another pull right onto Demon Low, and like you talked about the timing of the Tristana jump,
Yep.
he hasn't been able to get it off once here.
not
Every single time that Afromu lands his pull, the cast time is too much for that rocket jump. Demon Low not able to get away, and even though Rammus and Shen both taunting CLG members under turrets, CLG will take that challenge. They throw down the gauntlet, and the CLG will accept. They fight you.
Yes, well, I think Afro has bigger gauntlets than anyone else on Azure Cats right here. So pretty happy for this Counterlogic Gaming lineup. 7-4 in kills, 4-0 in turrets. These guys, the early pressure from them, it has completely mounted, and they're honestly shutting down these Azure Cats options.
It's very reminiscent of last game. They still seem extremely calm here. Chaucer has had a very well planned out game. Afromu just helping him counter jungle early, so early and often, has really enabled them to keep control of the map objectives. Speaking of which, we've got 10 seconds or so left on this dragon.
That's going to be another important point for these guys. Can Azure Cats even contest Dragon, though? They've been losing every fight, just left and right.
No, they can't, because we've got Cruiser stand United down for another 15 seconds, and that's plenty of time for this Elise and Ezreal to burn Dragon right down.
Well, Dragon has respawned now. After with Oracles, will sweep away some wards, and yep, no one's even going to contest. Dragon does go down. Last hit going to Ezreal on that one, and the gold lead has now grown to over 9,000. CLG is looking to take this one 2-0 in this best of 5 for the LCS spot.
So much more one-sided than you and I at least thought this one was going to be. It's looking to be a quick game 2, very, very similar to the last one. Tristana, though, if there was going to be a saving grace, once he completes that Infinity Edge that he's been working on so hard, which he can do when he goes back, they actually will have a chance if they get several crits in a row. He can always throw his dice, and they can put all their bets on luck.
Well, let's see if they can do it then. Hotshot GG is pushing the top lane, 170 minions on him, doing what he can for this one. Afromu and Doublelift, they're going back down towards the bottom, so this triple split push seems to be happening. Dragon wanting to shut this one down, looks for Chaucer. Can he land the taunt? He does, but he's been stunned up here, and they just fire back onto Rammus. Big Fat LP pops his ult to run over and can't find anything either.
Azure Cats right now are desperate for an engage, but they can't even take 4 members of CLG. Hotshot has his teleport available, so if they engage and they got something right there, they would just bite off way more than they could chew. The shock blast from Link doing work, getting the back line here. Demon Low and Obituous already being chunked down.
So there we go. 5th turret has gone down. The split push cam just there for Hotshot, because who else would you want it for? Azure Cats moving towards the back. They're trying to defend their turret. Stun comes off on Dragoner. Rammus is at least tanking some of these skill shots here, but they're still losing health over time. Shock Blast doesn't quite land. Demon Low down to half health, though, is getting worse and worse for Azure Cats.
Looks like they're going to get this one for free, actually. The rest of Azure Cats are going to back right off. They're going to try and put their last line of defense at the inhibitor turrets, and I don't blame them, because this CLG team looks extremely scary. Doublelift has completed the second part of his semi-blue Ezreal build here, and it just looks fearsome.
I think it works as red, white, and blue, because Bloodthirster is like a blood-covered, it's a blood-covered sword, and since he is sort of the Team North America All-Star, he's going USA Ezreal.
He's getting in that all-star mode, ready to represent North America. I mean, Canada, they've got red and blue in their flag too. I mean, they got red and white in their flag too, so that's good enough.
Yeah. Okay, so, but actually I don't think there's any Canadians on the NA All-Star team.
They're representing North America.
Well, that's true,
man.
that's true.
Canada may be the US's hat, but you can't forget about them.
Wow. All right, well, on that note, Hotshot and Doublelift are going to push up towards the top lane with the rest of the team. And let's see what they can push on down right now. They've got all 6 outer and secondary turrets taken down. None for Azure Cats so far. They're certainly controlling the space, and Hotshot is saying, you know what, we're going to switch gears. I'm now going to split push the bottom lane.
A new flavor for Hotshot here. He's really mixing up his game, isn't he? Going for the split push bottom this time. so the rest of his team can congregate around Baron. Azure Cat's going to try and drop off the wards so that they don't get forced into those unsavory Baron baits. But we have Afromu just rolling his way over with an Oracles, and Hotshot won't let up on this bottom turret.
He's starting to lose health. Rammus is coming by, but he's not going to be able to stop Hotshot at all. And I've noticed that they're not even sending Cruiser to fight him 1v1. He's never been there to sort of beat the split push, at least not much.
It's been pretty difficult for Cruiser. Actually, they've been mistiming. I mean, the cooldowns have been out of sync for the teleport and the Standing Knights so far. Now we're finally seeing this matchup of the Shen split push versus the Hotshot Diana split push. And Hotshot has a Zanya's, and he also has a Negatron cloak, so he's very tanky Diana here. He hasn't gone with that very popular Gnasher's Tooth build that people use on Diana just to push quicker. He just wants more defenses and more escape tools.
I actually want to dwell on this 1v1 matchup in the bottom window a little bit more, because you look at the items and you see a pretty big lead here for Hotshot, but I also want to point out the gold lead, because Hotshot is 2,400 gold ahead of his would-be lane opponent. So even 1v1, I don't know if it would go well for Cruiser.
Yeah, Hotshot, the bonus to Hotshot's style is that you have ridiculous amounts of farm, and you do get a lot of money for those minion kills, so it's going to be very dangerous for whoever goes up against him. We saw him just obliterate Big Fat LP when he found him heads up in the jungle, and the same goes for anyone else as Link jumps onto Demon Glow and scares out the short hop.
Seriously, these guys are taking a bunch of pain right here. Afro running back away from Dragoner, though. Certainly CLG are still a little bit reserved here, not wanting to put themselves in too much trouble. It's now Cruiser split pushing a Lotus Hotshot. Oh, the pull onto Obituous. He does have to flash away. The Elise stun will land, and here comes Hotshot in onto Rise, forcing the flash away from Big Fat LP. The Stand United comes across. The Azure Cats cannot do anything from the Shen ult.
Huge cooldown there for Azure Cats. Now Stand United's not going to be up. It's that mistiming of the ultimates that we talked about here. Hotshot's going to have the advantage in the split push now because he has his teleport still, and Azure Cats really have to make something happen. We just saw right there the failed engage, Afromu landing another hook and forcing out the flash of Janna.
So now it is 2 flashes missing from the Azure Cats lineup, whereas they are all available for counter logic gaming. The mid-team fight repositioning might just be enough here. Afromu and Double Lift on the left-hand side. He's looking to poke down a little bit, but Demon Law is getting free damage, and there we go. Azure Cats are on the map for a turret kill.
All right, they've got some objective down. Global Gold goes to them. They're still very much behind, though. And it looks like CLG look to answer here. They're trying to keep them on the run and just stop them from backing. If they can stop them from blue pilling just a few seconds, that means 100 or 200 HP off this turret. Hotshot will not stop attacking.
He's not indeed. Look at that health bar just going lower and lower, and Hotshot's going to be taking this turret down without anyone stopping him. Great pickup there. Actually, take that back. He's fighting Big Fat LP, and here we go. He takes the turret, has to run back, and I don't know if Rise... Ooh, he has to Zonia's. I don't know if that was the right choice, because here comes the battle. He's going to go in on a Big Fat and then immediately turn back. Afro just whiffs a pull, and Hotshot's still getting chased. Puts a shield on, turns back to fight. Could this be enough damage? Who's it going to be for? It's Hotshot GG winning the fight, and the rest of CLG are going in. Dragoner, he's going to flash away. It's one of those other ones down. Cruiser goes for a taunt on the team to maybe save some time. Demon Law actually still battling. The flash come across, pulled back in to get the kill onto Shen, and CLG are not done. Ult comes out from Afro, taking down Janna, and now Demon Law is just running away, scared and low, and a little bit lonely at this point. Slow comes out from Double Lift. Another Q, he's going to go in for more damage. Barrier is there. They get the kill. Now only Dragoner is alive, and Hotshot GG takes down the bottom inhibitor.
Counter Logic Gaming winning all over the map. Hotshot heads up with Big Fat LP, takes him out. The rest of the team as well got Azure Cat on the run. They take down 3 more, and that will be an inhibitor. Plus, they look to get the bonus Baron after this one.
Let's see if they can get that guy. They're up 13,000 gold here, and this will stretch that lead even farther. Chaucer fairly low on health, so Afro will take it up, and I don't see anyone even stopping them. This will be CLG taking their second Baron of the series overall, their first of the game, and there it is, all 5 alive, and they scatter.
Now that they have Baron, it's going to be even easier for their second push because Super Minions down bottom, they can continue just to play this methodical game where they take their time. go back and purchase their items before their next push. It's going to be so hard for Azure Cats to stop the next one. They have to fight under a turret, and they have to have a dive from CLG to make use of that turret, because without extra damage from somewhere on their team that's not these 5 champions, Azure Cats have shown that they can't win these team fights.
Well, that's going to be a tough thing for them then. They've got to find something to turn it around. Chowster going to sweep away. Now, I always like sort of looking at these sort of late game matchups because I feel like the story has repeated itself so many times. You've got a Tristana, we're down a Baron, we're down a bunch of turrets, oh man, but I'm Tristana, and it's CLG on red team, maybe we can do it. Marn did it once back in the regular season of the spring split. Is there even a chance that Tristana goes 6 items and carries this game?
Well, you can look at the late games, but the problem here is that this is almost 2 different games. CLG are already in the late game, whereas Azure Cats are still in mid game right here. They've got a lot of stalling to do before Tristana can even enter that phase. Yes, he's got that key Infinity Edge, but people keep getting caught like Rammus.
And Dragoner is not going to like this very much. The mids from CLG are nice and big, and actually it's nice because power balls can get... I lost it, I'm sorry. There's something there, guys. Invent it and post it. But guys, CLG have a 5v4 for the next 34 seconds, and they're looking now for the top lane. Shadow Shield's on it, but that's not going to last very long. CLG killed the shield, and they might just kill the turret.
And Link's going to have some alone time at the mid turret as well, getting a decent amount of damage on that one. So both areas look to go down. This is going to be mid inhibitor turret dropping.
There we go. 8 turrets now to 1. This is a very good scoreline for Counter Logic Gaming. Shot Glass comes across, hits Demon Low down to half, and this will be inhibitor number 2. They've still got Baron buff for 2 minutes. They're going to run back over to the left-hand side for turret number 9. And they get this one. Looks like no one's going to even stop them, so this is theirs. 3 inhibitors going to be falling. Counter Logic Gaming looking great in game 2.
They also get all the inhibitors, so they've basically got the trifecta here, and all they have to do is wait around for some backup from super minions and just take down Nexus turrets.
Well, they're looking for it right now. The one on the bottom is down fairly low. Demon Low trying to lifesteal back up, but has no minions to target right here. Another wave of CLG minions comes in, and push number 5 will begin. Double it from the bottom-hand side, trying to wave clear out, and I don't see any initiation here from Azure Cats.
It's going to be so rough for them. They just have to taunt somebody under the double turrets, hope for the best.
Dragoner getting stunned is not the best, though. He's down below half health. Turret's taking even more damage. Demon Low again with a shock blast to the face. Looking better and better for CLG. Another Janna shield. Double takes some damage for what that's worth. And there comes Dragoner. He's going to taunt Aphromoo. He's going to go all in on Blitzcrank. Taunt lands, and so much damage from Big Fat LP. But Crew's going to get answered back, and there comes Hotshot GG. Will he find Dragoner? Has to pop Zonia's. Right now, a 4v4 in the battle. Can Demon Low turn this around? Oh my god, the damage output. Hotshot GG is an assassin. Has to flash out, but will survive. Dragoner now shows up onto Link. Taunts him under the sole remaining turret. Damage output comes through, but he has Guardian Angel. However, they have at least popped that. Hotshot has left the battle. He has teleport, though. No, sorry, he comes back into the battle. Janna pops ultimate. The next is going to go down. This will be Counter Logic Gaming, taking it 2-0 so far. One more, they're in the LCS.
Another decisive victory for CLG, but look at their faces, just stone cold. There's a little smirk, but they know their work's not done. They can't let up right now. You can't get overconfident. You have to execute the last and final match here. They just need one more win to secure their spot in the summer split.